BTS fans are losing their minds after shocking new footage surfaced from a recording studio showing Jungkook, V, Taehyung, and Jimin together. What looked like an innocent late-night session has now turned into one of the hottest debates across fandom spaces. In the viral image, Jungkook can be seen sitting at the mixing console with headphones on, his expression sharp and focused. Taehyung and Jimin, however, appear deep in conversation just a few steps away, faces tense, arms crossed. While nothing has been confirmed, armies are speculating that there may have been creative disagreements during the recording. Are they working on a secret subunit project? One fan wrote. Or is this proof of a deeper conflict inside the group? Some fans are convinced the trio is preparing a surprise collaboration, possibly a track that blends their unique vocal colors in a way the world has never heard before. But others point to Jimin's body language, arguing that his hesitation could suggest friction with Jungkook's direction during the session. What's fueling even more speculation is that HYBE has stayed completely silent about the footage. No official statement, no clarification. And as fans know too well, silence often sparks the loudest rumors. Could this be the dawn of a groundbreaking new project, or a sign of hidden tension between three of BTS's closest members? Stay tuned, because if history tells us anything, when Jimin, Jungkook, and Taehyung share a room, something unforgettable is about to happen. BTS fans are in shock after the sudden release of behind-the-scenes studio footage showing Jungkook, Taehyung, and Jimin working late into the night. At first glance, the images looked harmless, a casual recording session with members wearing headphones and surrounded by warm lighting, a microphone stand, and a leather sofa in the corner. But what fans noticed in the details has sparked one of the most heated discussions in recent weeks, raising questions about whether this was the beginning of a powerful collaboration or the sign of a deeper conflict that no one expected. In the leaked snapshot, Jungkook is positioned in front of the mixing console, fully immersed in the sound controls, his jawline tense and his eyes locked on the levels as though he was fighting to perfect something critical. Beside him, Taehyung stands with folded arms, his gaze shifting between Jimin and Jungkook as if caught in the middle of an unspoken disagreement. Jimin, on the other hand, appears hesitant, his posture leaning back with his lips pressed tightly together, betraying emotions that fans quickly interpreted as frustration or unease. It was only one moment captured in time, but to armies, it spoke volumes. Within minutes, social media platforms like X were flooded with speculation. Some fans insisted the trio was preparing something monumental, possibly a subunit track that would shake the entire music industry. The combination of Jungkook's production expertise, Jimin's delicate yet powerful vocal color, and Taehyung's deep, soulful tone could create a masterpiece fans have been waiting for. "This is history in the making," one fan wrote, their post gaining thousands of likes in less than an hour. But others were quick to focus on the body language, pointing out that Jimin's distance from the console and Taehyung's stiff stance could mean that creative visions were clashing behind closed doors. The silence from HYBE only made matters worse. No official statement was released, no reassurance given. The company's refusal to comment allowed theories to spiral even further, with some fans fearing that tensions in the studio could hint at cracks forming between the members. Why is HYBE always quiet when it matters most? A fan account tweeted, sparking a thread of hundreds of replies debating the issue. The mystery is only deepening as fans dissect every possible clue. Did Jungkook's focus at the console mean he was taking complete creative control, leaving less space for Jimin and Taehyung's input? Was Jimin's hesitation a sign of disagreement with the direction of the project? And why did Taehyung look as though he was mediating rather than fully engaged in the recording? These are the questions fueling the wildfire of speculation. What everyone agrees on, however, is that when these three are in the same room, the outcome is never ordinary. Whether this moment leads to a groundbreaking release or exposes hidden tensions, armies know they are standing on the edge of something that could redefine the narrative around BTS's next chapter. For now, fans are left restless, waiting, dissecting, and asking the same burning question: is this a secret collaboration about to change everything? Or the first glimpse of a conflict no one ever wanted to see? The debate over the leaked studio footage of Jungkook, Taehyung, and Jimin is only intensifying as armies worldwide continue to analyze every frame. What was once seen as a hopeful glimpse of a long-awaited collaboration is now becoming a battleground of speculation, with fans divided between excitement and worry. The image of Jungkook hunched over the mixing console, wearing headphones and focusing with the intensity of a producer determined to perfect every detail, has been praised by some as evidence that the golden maknae is taking his artistry to the next level. Yet, for others, his control in the session raises the question of whether his dominance left less room for Jimin and Taehyung to shape the project in their own voices. Jimin's presence in the corner of the shot has particularly unsettled fans. His subtle lean backward, his lips pressed tightly, and the way his gaze avoided the console altogether were read by many as signs of discomfort. "He doesn't look like himself," one fan wrote, pointing out how Jimin usually lights up in creative spaces, yet here he seemed withdrawn. That single detail has been enough to trigger waves of theories. Was he disagreeing with Jungkook's choices, or perhaps feeling sidelined? Some armies even suggested the tension could stem from differing visions of what the song should become, with Jimin's signature emotional nuance possibly clashing against Jungkook's sharper production style. Taehyung's body language has done little to calm the storm. With his arms folded and his head tilted slightly, he seemed more like a mediator than an active participant. Fans quickly latched onto this observation, speculating that Taehyung was caught in the middle, balancing loyalty to both Jungkook and Jimin while silently weighing in on the situation. His famously expressive personality was nowhere to be seen in the clip, and instead he looked unusually serious, which only poured fuel onto the fire. The silence from HYBE has become one of the most provocative aspects of this unfolding story. In the past, when small controversies surfaced, the company often moved swiftly to clarify misunderstandings or reassure fans. This time, however, there has been no official response, no clarification of whether the trio was recording a new group track, experimenting for solo projects, or simply rehearsing. For many armies, HYBE's refusal to speak has only amplified the tension, leaving the fandom to interpret the footage on their own terms. When they don't explain, we're forced to guess. One account with thousands of followers commented, and those guesses always become louder than the truth. As the debate rages, the stakes feel higher than ever. BTS is in a transitional period, with individual projects redefining their identities both within and outside the group. The idea that Jungkook, Taehyung, and Jimin could be clashing creatively feels almost unthinkable to fans who view them as inseparable. Yet the studio image seems to open the door to a new and uncomfortable narrative. Are we on the verge of a revolutionary collaboration that will showcase their combined artistry? Or are we witnessing a rare glimpse of disagreement that challenges the perception of unity BTS has always projected? The truth remains hidden, locked within the walls of that studio. But the world is watching closely. Each passing hour without clarification only sharpens the sense of suspense. Armies are left with a haunting question. Was this leaked moment a promise of brilliance to come? Or the start of a fracture too delicate to ignore? The image of Jungkook, Taehyung, and Jimin inside that dimly lit studio has transformed into far more than a simple update for fans. It has become a symbol, a puzzle piece, and a spark that has ignited one of the most emotionally charged debates in the fandom in recent memory. On one side, there is hope, an electric thrill that maybe, just maybe, the three members are cooking up something extraordinary, a collaboration that could merge their vocal strengths and redefine the sonic landscape of BTS's legacy. On the other side, there is unease, a gnawing suspicion that what was captured in that frame wasn't harmony, but tension simmering under the surface. Jungkook's concentration at the console has been praised by many as the mark of a true artist, someone relentless in his pursuit of perfection. His growth as both a singer and a producer has been visible over the years, and this moment only reinforced his image as the engine driving musical innovation. But fans know well that leadership in the studio can be a double-edged sword. Too much control can eclipse the creativity of others, and the suggestion that Jimin's input was being overshadowed by Jungkook's authority has left some armies unsettled. The discourse only grew sharper when screenshots began to circulate with captions like "Jungkook is dominating the session" and "Jimin looks excluded." Jimin, whose artistry thrives on raw emotion and vulnerability, appeared distant in the leaked frame, as if his usual spark had dimmed. His body language leaning away, lips drawn tight, was subtle, yet unmistakable to fans who have memorized his every expression. For those who follow him closely, it raised alarms. Was he in disagreement with the direction of the song? Was he holding back feelings of frustration, choosing silence over confrontation? Or was this simply a fleeting moment frozen unfairly in a photo, exaggerated by the endless magnifying glass of the internet? The ambiguity only sharpened the intensity of speculation. And then there was Taehyung, standing between them in posture and presence. Arms folded, eyes flicking from one member to the other, he became the embodiment of quiet tension. Unlike the playful, charismatic side he shows on stage, this Taehyung looked burdened, as though he was calculating each move carefully. To some fans, he seemed like the mediator, caught between two different visions. To others, his serious stance revealed dissatisfaction of his own. His silence, like Hybe's, left space for endless interpretation. What makes this story even more explosive is the complete lack of clarity from the company. Hybe's refusal to comment has turned the studio footage into a canvas onto which every fan paints their own theory. In a fandom as massive and passionate as BTS's, silence is never neutral. It creates a void that speculation rushes to fill. And soon that speculation begins to feel like fact. Within hours, threads, reaction videos, and even translated international discussions were flooding the internet. Some celebrated this as proof of a groundbreaking project in the works, while others braced themselves for confirmation of discord. This is the paradox of BTS's legacy. A group known for unity, trust, and brotherhood, now being viewed through the lens of possible division. The idea that Jungkook, Jimin, and Taehyung could be at odds in the creative process strikes at the heart of ARMY's faith in them. Making this moment more than just a rumor, it becomes a test of loyalty, of interpretation, of how far fans are willing to stretch their imagination to protect or question their idols. As days pass without clarification, anticipation turns into suspense. Every silence feels louder. Every small gesture and future appearances will be dissected with the intensity of a detective combing through evidence. Will the trio release a song that silences every rumor and reaffirms their bond? Or will more footage surface, feeding the growing belief that cracks are forming where none were thought possible? For now, the studio image remains suspended in time, a haunting reminder that sometimes a single frame can change the course of a narrative. It is no longer just a picture. It is a battlefield of hope and fear, excitement and doubt, unity and division. And the question that armies cannot stop asking is simple but cutting. Was this the beginning of something brilliant, or the first sign of something breaking?